Welcome back to another review video where today we're going to be looking at Eloy Casagrande, one of, if not the best metal drummer out there at the moment, and certainly one of, if not my absolute favourite as well. And in this video, we're going to be looking at his style, his signature sound, his approach to drumming, which he is so good that I don't really understand, but we're going to do our best and find out why it is that Slipknot wanted him, and him specifically, behind the kit. Now, I will be absolutely clear, this is not a who is better, Joey versus Jay versus Eloy. We're not doing that. But if we were to, we all can agree that Joey is Slipknot. Eloy is probably the best metal drummer out there to date, but Jay never, ever, ever should have had that job taken away from him. I think we can probably hopefully unanimously agree on that. What Jay still brought to Slipknot for me was absolutely unbelievable. That first album with him, Great Chapter, the sound that he brought in terms of what he was able to put behind a kit was absolutely unbelievable. I'll be honest, I kind of dropped off of Slipknot after that, once they all started taking each other to court and all that sort of stuff. But there's a newfound energy there with Eloy, and I went to go see Slipknot live in Leeds, first tour with Eloy. My God, absolutely unbelievable. To see that guy behind the kit doing what he was doing, playing what he was playing, was sensational. One of the best Slipknot gigs that I've ever been to, and I've seen them many, many times. So we're going to delve into this. Not all of these videos are going to be him playing Slipknot. We're actually going to look earlier and see the videos and kind of content that's maybe made Slipknot, or whoever makes the decisions, make the decision that they want him behind the kit. And I forgot that this first video existed, which is actually Eloy Casagrande at 14 years old, outplaying probably most metal drummers in the world at that point, and at the age of 14. So let's have a look at this. This drum solo here is absolutely incredible. I thought I was quite good at the drums at 14 years old because I could play like Lamb of God and Slipknot. But this guy could have joined Slipknot at age 14. Let's have a look. I can't play rolls that tight at even half the speed, by the way. And I think this drum solo's became quite a famous one of his, hasn't it? Unbelievable. We'd probably all agree the actual rolls at the start, most of us would look at that and go, well, with enough practice we could do that. But this here shows actual musicianship and understanding the sounds and layers of a kit at such a young age. This is mega. By the way, just to point out straight away what he's doing with his left foot there. Do we remember when Neil Peart did the sort of, it wasn't triplets, but it was groups of three. So it was he did the kick and two hats, I think it was, wasn't it? It was dun, 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 and then he starts playing everything over the top. And that at the time was absolutely unbelievable. Still is. But then can you imagine a 14-year-old kid going, yeah, but I'll do this pattern instead. This is absolutely wild. You can already see and you can already hear that kind of the drum kit to him there at that age is actually, it's a musical instrument, but it is actually being played musically. Whereas me at that age, I was not playing drums musically. I was not relating drums and toms on the kit as almost notes. I could not choreograph music in that way. And I don't think that many drummers at all, even now, and even some of the absolute like best, you're actually hearing him layer that up into a riff and a bit of, an actual melody. And again, at 14 years old, that's the main thing here, is insane. Like, the independence of his right hand is one thing, but look at his left, and especially now, look at this. In fact, look at his left foot there, it's still keeping the hi-hat going as well. That is nuts. That is absolutely wild. How clean are those rolls, man? Listen, those kicks as well. Underneath all of that is wild. No. I don't know how many years out from joining Sepultura, but like, you're looking at this kid now already layering up the stuff that he's layering up, the rudiments that he's playing there are so clean. Every single roll hit is so clean. That's one of the main things that everyone still says about him now. I mean, he can only get better from here, which he has done, which you wouldn't think was possible. He's such a hard hitter, but so clean. And at this age there, the ghost notes that he's putting in, and I always say the same thing about drummers, and Eloy is the first person that made me kind of think of this, is the proper drummers, like the proper serious drummers, play the ghost notes even when no one's going to hear them. I play the ghost notes for ego when I think people can hear them. He plays the ghost notes because the feel is different if he does or does not, and has a particular way that he wants that kit to sound, and the song and the music. And to be doing all of that and then playing the floor tom intro to Hot for Teacher underneath, more or less, with those hurters going on with the diddle is just, it's wild. Man. Oh, listen to the dynamics on that. Listen to the dynamics on that when he brings that and still plays so cleanly when playing so quietly. Oh, it's unbelievable. Honestly, at this point, yeah, I'm trying to think what year this would have actually been. 18 years ago from now, I guess. So YouTube maybe is or isn't quite out at this time. But that, for drummers, the internet is like such a killer for all motivation, isn't it? Because like, these kids exist online, right? And I think, I remember learning I would have been 15-ish, and learning Dream Theater. I learned the Instru medley, right? The big instrumental bit that Dream Theater did live at Budokan. And I couldn't play it now, but I could then. And being like so buzzing that I got this song learned. And then I went on YouTube to see some more drum covers and stuff of it. And then there was this 11-year-old kid somewhere in the world, like nailing it and playing it probably better than I was then. I'm like, oh man, there's someone already out there that can do it better. Like, the internet makes it so easy to find the best level. And like, normally you would have a group of mates who are musicians, or a drum teacher would be like a few levels above you, or other musicians and in bands. And you could all be kind of, spur each other on. And now we have the internet, which gives you the absolute best in 0.0003 seconds of and hundreds of search results, and they're all better than you. Imagine if he was this kid like now in today's age. You would still get some absolute pleb on his Instagram comment and say, "Oh, why don't you just play for the song though?" And that is a mark of a man or a drummer who cannot play the thing that he is watching. Really annoys me that. Dude, just play for the song. Well, no. Right, he's annoyed me enough now. Go ahead, son.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eloy Casagrande.
That honestly is absolutely unbelievable. What I was going to say, so it's Modern Drummer Festival 2005. I'm trying to think. There was a Modern Drummer clip that I used to watch all of the time, and it was Chris Adler on the Ashes of the Wake album. When did that Ashes of the Wake album come out? Because at that point, what Chris Adler was doing was like unbelievable and unheard of. Can you imagine him, who, by the way, Chris Adler, one of my absolute favourite drummers, probably top 3 of all time. Can you imagine him round about that time, or a couple of years, maybe it was a couple of years later? I get the feeling, I think it was 2007, the video before. But can you imagine someone like him sat in the wings thinking like, I've just came up with like Laid to Rest here, you know, transformed maybe is a bit far, but certainly like took metal and groove metal and that genre, certainly a sidestep to where it was ever going to be going. And you got this little prick here at that age comes on and like wipes the floor with most drummers there. Absolutely insane. So if you were ever in doubt at this point, by the way, then you're a bit of a fool. And anybody that was doubting him when he got announced for Slipknot, even more of a fool. And I was in that camp, to be honest. Even I was like, really? Until you actually sit and properly understand just how good he is. He will forever be very, very, very underrated. I want to skip through or skim through a couple of other tunes here, because there's plenty of other stuff that I want to talk about now when we actually get into him as a, you know, pro drummer here as well. So this was, what is this? This is Sepultura, sorry, this one. I've loaded up a few different links. Yes. So, setup here, because he's changed his setup a lot. He's playing Tama here. I think he might still be with Tama, but I do not know. The one thing that I do know is that he's a Pro Mark and Peisty guy, so he's all right in my book. Cymbal setups and stuff's changed over time, so we'll not delve into the setup too much. But the floor tom that he has on this left-hand side here, trying to find if there's an overhead shot or if there's a different angle. The floor tom on that left-hand side, I remember setting my kit up like that through a little bit of boredom. I was like, I'll try some new stuff. But having like the independence that he does, and having the setup in some cases that he does where it's not completely symmetrical, but your left hand can do as much as your right. And in his ability, your left hand can definitely do as much as your right. It's weird to watch him play because his arms are kind of like always in motion. And I really don't know how to like actually sum this up, but he's such an addictive drummer to watch. And I don't really know how to explain it, but you're just watching him, and it's like there's always something going on, and there's always something to kind of like see almost. It's like a metal band with a really, really good stage show. And he is like that, just him behind the kit. Like the energy for a start, especially in tracks like this, and obviously it's all really heavy, and it's all really, really cool. But yeah, just the I really don't know how to explain it. His arms are always moving, basically, which is the sign of a good drummer, at least. But what he brings to that with his independence, I can't explain it. This is why I love to watch him so much and why I appreciate him as a drummer so much. He is absolutely outstanding. Even here as well, you see where he's got his cymbal placement. Obviously, hats would be over to the left, but he's also got the hats here. Splash and crash. Just in those last few fills there, you see just how much. I guess that's what I was trying to explain before there. Just how much both hands are a part of everything that he plays, and is so strong on both sides. It almost gives the. It's unpredictable, actually. I think that's kind of where I'm trying to go with when I'm saying about his arms are always moving, is that, you know, both sides of him and his kit have the ability to produce something that you probably can't expect. I think that's what I'm trying to say there. Because watching that drum fill there, you hear where those cymbal placements go with the left. I wouldn't expect that. You're like, why are you doing that? Like, you don't need to, but the fact that you have sounds amazing, and now I can't imagine it any other way. Why are you doing that? He is unbelievable. Oh! Oh, yes! Get in! There's plenty ghost notes. There we go. Oh, that honestly, that I need to go back. That last 30 seconds or whatever it was of absolute. That was that was just tremendous. That's my kind of my kind of music. That, and do you know what? Sepultura is a band that I've not actually. I've slept on Sepultura for so long. I think the other thing that I love about his playing is obviously his feet as well are always so involved in the music. So again, when I was talking about his hands always moving, it's almost this illusion that they're at times moving so slowly or so freely, and yet you're hearing so much as well. And it makes you, or reminds you, just how much is actually going on, you know, like sort of beneath the kit, on the feet, the stuff that most people, and drummers even as well, never really see unless we're lucky enough to see drum cam, content like this. And I think that's the other thing as well, that, yeah, there's so many gaps between what he's doing with his hands, which is the other unpredictable part of arms are swinging, but you're like, where is it that they're actually filling in the gaps? Because so much of his stuff can be, not always, but can be led with the kicks as well. Like, I don't know if it's a Brazilian thing as well, because there's so many amazing Brazilian drummers that kind of have this almost similar style where the feet are as rhythmical as the top half of the kit. Some unbelievable Brazilian players. Beto Cardoso is the one that comes to mind. Unbelievable drummer, and he reminds me a lot of Eloy Casagrande. And in fact, I'll pull up his screenshot of his channel. He was actually the guy that gave me the idea to do the Iron Maiden medley, the big medley. First video I seen from him, he'd done a big Pantera chronological medley of every single Pantera song. And then he went and done Slipknot and Metallica, and it gave me the idea to do the Iron Maiden one. And he is mentioned in the description of my video. He is absolutely unbelievable player as well. But you can see, I hope he wouldn't be insulted if I said this, you can see how influenced I reckon he is by Eloy Casagrande, or they've been influenced by a similar drummer. Why not? My God. I don't think he was playing the double on his left there, so I don't know what sticking pattern he was playing, but that matched so perfectly with the kicks. That sounds like a Gojira bit, that. Yes! I love drums, me, you know. Honestly, that is outrageous. Sepultura, I've seen them live a couple of times. They're still a band that I've slept on way more than I should do. And if that doesn't prove why, then I don't know what does. That was unbelievable. This was a video. This next one here was a video that I've not actually seen at all before until I was trying to search for some stuff around Eloy and his playing. And I wanted to try and find some stuff that wasn't metal, knowing how good a non-metal drummer he is as well, and is, you know, such a wide variation of influence. You've got that sort of native Brazilian feel, massively, I would imagine, or I believe, I haven't seen many interviews from him, massively influenced and inspired by your jazz and maybe his gospel players as well. So this was a really interesting video. I've not seen this. I don't know what this group is or this project. I'm ashamed to say, but I will be finding out more. But this is down as Casagrande and whatever this, however we're going to pronounce this in a Newcastle Geordie accent. Hanais? I'm going to say Hanais. Let's go with that. We might not watch all of this, or we might not see all of it in the video, but I do urge you to go check this out because I caught 10 seconds of it and I thought, right, we're going to do an actual reaction to this bit in this section of the video. And maybe as we can quickly break down his setup here, because I see a lot of pasty cymbals and I am a fan. Look at them reflecting so beautifully off the lights. I can't even see what we've got here. Is that 2002? Is it a 2002? I'm only saying that because of the red. We've got a pasty. Oh, I'm going to look like a right div now. Because these might not be, the way is that these are hammered here, or the sort of reflective pattern that we've got. I don't think that they're not signatures, are they? These hi-hats might be, though. We've got a rude shred bell here. We do have, is this one a rude? I don't think it is. That's not reflecting enough. We've got a PSC7 stack on this side here. This one does look like a, in fact, actually, no, it's not a signature because it would be written in the pasty signature thing. I'll try and find out figure out what crashes they are. Just listen to this though, by the way. It's insane. Want to try and break down what it is that I've just heard there, because I will only get it wrong and look like an idiot. I'm still trying to also look at what cymbals it is that he's playing. I was wondering if they were Formula, I think they might be Formula 602s, potentially. This sounds incredible. and I don't mean this as I'm trying to be funny when I say this, it sounds like someone trying to parody animals as leaders. I don't mean that. I'm just trying to be funny there. That is not an offensive or a negative comment. But if someone put this on, I would genuinely, I would think it's animals as leaders. Oh, that would be my guess. If I had a guess, that would end up being my guess, I think. He's human. He's human. Proof. Living proof. He dropped his stick. I mean, he dropped his stick, but he didn't drop a beat. But that is proof. I would say caught in 4K, but that looks like it's been filmed on an actual potato. Caught in 144p. Dropping his stick. I feel a little bit better about myself now. That said, he can play with one hand what I probably still can't play with two. So he can drop a drumstick and get away with it. That does look like a red logo there, or that is definitely red text. So I think that might be a 2002, but I just, from the top, it was difficult to see. I don't think they're all 2002s though. I wish I could. It just makes you want to give up. I wish I could sit and explain what it is that he's actually doing. Right, this is genuinely, this is what I love about Eloy, right? Is ghost notes. Very, we mentioned animals as leaders there, very Matt Garska-esque. In that you can hear every ghost note, you can see every ghost note being played, and some people would look at it as overplaying, but if you take those ghost notes out, you really do feel it, or the song all of a sudden and the music all of a sudden feels hollow without it. But let's just have a little look here, right, at how many ghost notes he actually plays within the space of 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then there was so we played 11 ghost notes in the space of about a second. Then the backbeat. And then did you see that was followed by, I think, 2 or 3 ghost notes straight after the backbeat? Honestly, the guy is an absolute machine. He finds places for ghost notes that you didn't think were possible, or fits enough into a gap that you did not think could fit in there. Absolutely insane. I think that might have just been the most impressive drum fill that I think I've seen. So he's just picked up the stick there, and I think he's gone, if my eyes and ears are lining up properly, I think he then goes round the kit in an inverted double. I can't quite see that quickly enough. He's playing doubles. I just can't see what the first one is. I don't know if he's playing an inverted double or straight, but that is unbelievable. Literally, just as he's grabbed the stick. That sort of stuff, as stupid as it sounds, that sort of stuff really does mark and separate a proper top-end drummer. And most people would brush over that. And I would sit and talk for the next 10 minutes about how he's just done that from picking up a stick that wasn't broken that he threw away initially, but knowing exactly where the gap is. Honestly, it's like the mark of a true pro. And he's got another pair of sticks out there in that break. I don't know if he's then getting a fresh pair of sticks for both sticks, or if he's actually getting a heavier set of sticks for like the next piece of music. That wouldn't surprise me there, because he's only just replaced one of them and then he's putting two of them down. Unless he is an absolute anal OCD freak and wants two fresh pair of sticks so that they're both the same weight and all that sort of stuff. Normally I would slag drummers off for that, but he probably is the one person in the world that can tell the difference between 1 gram of weight on a set of drumsticks. I think it is Matt Garska that actually weighs, or his drum tech puts the drumsticks on scales and matches them. I think I remember seeing that in an interview or a podcast. Honestly. Fuck off! Get out, man! I might be able to play this bit. The previous 7 minutes, though, definitely not. What the fuck is he doing there, man? Right, hang on a minute, because I know that everything that we've just seen there was obviously absolutely unbelievable and, in my mind, or in my lack of ability, impossible to play. But do you know the most impressive thing about that? I don't know if we saw that. I don't know if he was playing doubles or single rolls. It all happened too quickly, and I don't quite know what went on. But he was between his left hand on the snare and his right hand on the middle tom, on this tom here. And I don't know what he was doing. He was blast beating some crazy shit. Let's have a watch of that again. That's unbelievable. He's playing like Hurters, I think, there. I think. It all happened too quickly. It's all a blur. This guy, man. This guy. Honestly. Just absolutely insane. Like, to have half of his ability and creativity and I don't know if much of that is ad-libbed or if it is pre-written so specifically. Both would impress me equally as much, and neither would surprise me. This guy. Oh, it makes me sick. By the way, how nice do those drums sound as well? They sound absolutely insane. Right, this is going to make me want to quit drums. The camera can't even keep up with... You know that sort of... You know that kind of like physics visual phenomena where a helicopter, if filmed with a video camera, the camera cannot capture frames as quick as the blades are spinning, and so it looks like the blades are not moving. That's what we've just witnessed in real time with him on drums. Look at this. It looks like he literally just goes. That is, honestly, absolutely mental. That is absolutely insane. And we're watching the stuff that he's doing there where he is, at times, dropping down and still playing for the music, as many of the boomer drummers will always say, "Ooh, play for the song." And he still does do a lot of that. But no matter how many musicians are around him, or no matter how many instruments are on track, I don't know if he's playing with a live band here or if it is just all on track. No matter how many instruments are around him, anyways, in that composition, his drum kit is equal to all of those other instruments in terms of how much he is able to. You hear how perfectly tuned, obviously, his drums are as well, and the tones and sounds. He is able to transcend in the way that a guitarist would do across many, 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 many notes on a fretboard. And he is able to do that on drums, and literally the 0.00001% of top drummers are actually able to do that. And if you were ever in doubt about him playing in Slipknot, which there was a little bit of debate, I think, until we all saw the first drum cam of him playing with Slipknot live, then the debate soon ended at that point. But let us just have a very quick watch of him. What could have potentially been, or may have been, who knows, his audition for Slipknot. I wouldn't be surprised if they phoned him up and went, "Do you fancy just recording yourself doing? We want you anyway. Could you just do a few tunes? Stick them up on YouTube, and we'll see what the comments say." And if it'd be one of them challenges that you see on social media now, where it's like, if this gets so many likes, then you have to do this, or we get a free car or whatever. And I wouldn't be surprised if Slipknot went, if this gets 10,000 comments saying that you should join Slipknot, then the job is yours. And would we be surprised? Absolutely not. I assume it's just the camera angle, but those hi-hats look feckin' huge. And you know that this is absolutely real. There is no microphones on the toms. It is all recorded through an EAD-10. Yes! Good man! Good man! And then the most not iconic, but the very, very popular video that sort of done the rounds very quickly was actually him playing Heretic Anthem. And for a guy that has said, I think a few times in interviews and stuff, that his feet, his speed and his double kick is his weakest part. If drummers could swap his feet and his double kick ability, pretty much any drummer in the world, or majority of drummers in the world, if you could swipe and deploy that and make it a part of their armory, it would immediately become the best thing about their playing. And he reckons it's his weakest, which is just insane. Screams, maybe not so much. Now, I want to have a look at this video. Been a long, long time since I watched it. But there's a few things that he does in this drum cover that he did live, and it's kind of what gave him away as the drummer initially. Those double kicks, man. And I think as well, in case we were ever in doubt, which I don't think many people were, but just in case, you can hear just how, first of all, how clean those kicks are, but you can hear how natural and real they are. No crazy quantizing and compressions and making them all sound like 1,000,000% velocity. I don't know what the hell that ride is doing up there. That's a bit wild, but that looks like that got up there by accident. Oh, that pains me to watch someone crash a ride like that. Oh, no. There you go. That's what gave him away. Did anybody spot that? Apart from crashing on an actual ride cymbal, which makes me sick to my stomach. But did anybody notice the thing that gave him away in the early days as the Slipknot drummer before it was officially, I think, announced? So if you listen to the accents on the 666 and when he plays them on the China, next one, where he accents them. Oh! Unbelievable. And what does he do? He fills the gaps with ghost notes on the snare. Of course he does. This guy. This guy. Yes, good man. Oh, can we see what symbols they are now? So that's the red label still there. So that's a 2002. That's a 2002. This is a 2002. I said Formula 602, and if only his camera quality was a little bit better, we might be able to see what that says. But I think it is a Formula 602. And then we have it. Is that another set of hats or something? What's he got there? They're rudes nonetheless, anyways. He must be as well a sound engineer's dream, isn't he? Just so clean, so consistent. Yes! God, son! All right, now you've got to take it too far and ruin it, haven't you? Said no drummer ever. Oh, look at it, man, honestly. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And if that didn't get him the job, then I don't know what did. I want to have a watch now of what was my highlight of the Slipknot gig when I saw them last year or the year before. It was Scissors. Unbelievable tune to begin with. The whole set, by the way, was absolutely unbelievable in terms of the song, the set list, the songs, because that was the 99 tour. The amount of people, the satisfaction that it gave me for the amount of people that were annoyed that they didn't get to hear Psychosocial was tremendous. I literally saw people walk out when he said, we're not going to be playing any of the new shit, so you can all fuck off. And when people got up and left, oh my God. Oh. As James May would say, it gave me the fizz. Because I love to gatekeep a band. I love to ask you to name me 3 songs of a band. And when Corey Taylor said, we're only doing first album, fuck off if you don't like it. And people left. Oh. It was that visually was music to my ears, let alone hearing this absolute monster of a drummer with his 3 or 4 bass drums behind the kit and all of his endless ghost notes. If that wasn't good enough, then that certainly was. Right, let's have a watch of this. This is pretty much the outro of Scissors, where he's actually, I think they've just said, we really need to prove that you were the right decision here to join Slipknot. Please prove them in the last 4 minutes of this outro. And that is exactly what he goes and does. Now, I've seen a few different clips of this. Again, I don't know how much is like he plays it regimentally the same way every single time. He's like, scheduled every single drum fill, or how much of it is improvised and literally left on the night. Again, either way would not surprise me, and both are equally as impressive. He is a drummer that just plays in the pocket so much that I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. He plays in the pocket so much that you think you are so comfortable in what it is that you're doing that you either have to be 10 years, light years ahead in ability and mentally to think and prepare yourself for what it is that you're about to play, or you have sat and practiced it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, days and days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks, years and years and years and years. And that's why it sounds so good. I can't work the guy out. It's one of the two, and either and both are equally as impressive, no matter which it is. Let's have a watch of this outro here. And these live drum cams as well are some of the best pieces of content on the internet, by the way. To hear such a clean, straight up recording of just drums. There is very little bleed from the rest of the band. The benefit of in-ears, I guess, is that you get the cleanest drum cam audio. Can you imagine getting that call and being asked to drum for Slipknot, though? I imagine that for him, I guess, I don't know, is the equivalent of if Iron Maiden asked me to go play drums for them. Like, you would not think twice, you would not hesitate, and you would not think twice. And this is why I love this clip so much as well. Everything that we've just watched before, of all of the super prog jazz math stuff that is not just hitting drums as hard and playing as fast as possible, is brought in to Slipknot and played so well. I would love Slipknot to end every show with Scissors like this. That could be their outro, their new outro at every show, and I would not get bored. Look at that. Just and this is what I mean about him being like such an army drummer. His arms are all over the place, and you see his arms moving so freely. You would expect a heavy metal drummer to constantly just be blast beats and constantly around the kit all the time. Arms like never stop moving. His arms are never moving, but his arms are never stopping moving. But there's part of you that just visually it doesn't sync up because you're like your arms are moving so slowly, at weird places and times, and his feet is doing so much of the work. I will never be able to overstate how impressive that is. And you watch this and you think of that 14-year-old kid at Modern Drummer Festival in 2005. And there is very few drummers that will come to mind that you can say deserve and are at home on a stage in a band like Slipknot, on a stage like that, to a crowd like that, playing that in scissors. And listen, I think this is kicks all the way to the end. Oh no, it's the next time round, maybe. Honestly, I've barely touched on this video of just how aggressive he is able to make everything sound as well. And before we get into this outro, yeah, I've not managed to even talk about just how aggressive he makes everything sound whilst playing it with such fluidity, control, perfection, and ease. And yeah, if you shut your eyes and you're not watching him just, manage all of that so simply, that is one of the key reasons that so many drummers will play fast in heavy metal music, and what makes the heaviness sound so heavy, which is these kicks here. Listen to these kicks. Just, that's going for about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Right? And producers don't need triggers because he is the trigger. But when you listen to something like that, as a drum part, 16 to 30 second notes on kicks at whatever speed, this would be like 16 at over 200 BPM for a minute and a half or whatever it is. That in and of itself as a concept is heavy, right? And when you start getting into drums and you start trying to learn and play some of that stuff, and then you get really good at drums and then you regress in the way that I did, which now the thought of playing that, my legs go heavy at the thought of playing that, which when you've got an understanding as well, it's why drummers appreciate what he's doing there so much, is to be locked in, almost, like the consistency and the velocity as well. It's why triggers and quantized drums and 110 velocity on every hit is so popular, is that the thought in our mind, even if you're not a drummer and it's a subconscious thing, the thought in your mind of the aggression that should take, even though he plays it with such ease, it's to the ear, it is the aggression that is required and the absolute brute force just to power through something like that. If you listen, I'm trying to think of a band for an example, like Fear Factory, right? You listen to Fear Factory, and that is a Demanufacture. That album, I remember that coming out, or first hearing that, and you're just like, my God, it is so heavy, because you have to picture and try and imagine the brute force that it takes to play at that level for such a long period of time. I don't know if I've managed to explain what I'm trying to explain there, but that for me is what makes him such an impressive drummer to watch and listen to, and then compute and understand what it is that he's doing. It's great. It's absolutely wild. And shit like that just pisses me off. Because these days I would struggle to play the kicks, and then he's just like pissing about for a laugh. The guy has got bored halfway through that outro and just thought, I wonder what the bell sounds like on that crash. I know I've smashed the shit out of it all night, but what's the bell sound like on the top of that? Oh, it's all right. It sounds all right, because it's a pasty cymbal. Of course it sounds all right. And there we go. And that is why he was such a good choice for Slipknot. I do wonder whether or not he was actually the first choice after Joey left. It does actually make me wonder that. I will, however, still go on to say, as much as he absolutely is such an impeccably good drummer, from the outside, although we don't know the details, it feels like it was very unfair that Jay lost that seat. And when they came out and said that they wanted to go in a different direction, you can understand why Eloy would take them in a different direction. And the sort of new lease of life that he's given them, or what I feel anyways, is a new lease of life. When I listen to that, I would never have imagined those songs and those parts being written and composed by Joey Jordison being imagined or reimagined and played in such a way that he has. But I also think that the same went for Jay. When I think it was the first Slipknot gig, and it got live streamed. I don't know if it was a Knotfest. It was a festival somewhere, but it got live streamed. I remember watching it and being like, right, let's, hear what this guy's all about, meaning Jay. And Purity was one of the early songs in the set. And there was a drum fill basically that he played that I would never have heard Joey Jordison play that drum fill. And I was like, I love that. What he's just done there. He basically played a sort of 16th note triplet fill into one of the into going into one of the verses for Purity. And I was like, you would never have heard that drum fill played in that setting with that band and that song if it wasn't for now him, Jay, being sat behind that kit. And so I absolutely loved and respected everything that he done and all the part. I think he was an unbelievable drummer for Slipknot. We have to say that obviously this guy is, tip top and absolutely a tremendous choice. But I don't know, there's something just a bit strange from a fan's perspective, sat on the outside without any clue of the operations on the inside. I don't know. I loved Jay as a drummer for Slipknot, and I saw Slipknot 3 times with Jay as well. But yeah, this guy is one of my absolute favourite drummers. So I'm never going to complain that he's in the band. Obviously, no one's going to complain because it sounds absolutely incredible. But it is a bit of a weird one overall. I will leave it there. Maybe they wanted him all along. Who knows? But that is Eloy Casagrande. That has been a very, very long video. I wanted to finish this before the Newcastle match kicked off, and it kicked off 40 minutes ago. We'll be out the FA Cup by the time I go sit and watch that. But that is Eloy Casagrande. That is why, I think it's easy to see, why Slipknot wanted him behind the kit. I cannot wait to hear new Slipknot music. It's the first time in a long time, in fairness, that I've been excited to hear new Slipknot music, to hear what it is that he does, if he does have any influence in the music, in the composition, in the drum parts. Who knows? I'll be very, very interested to see and hear. So we will leave that there. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know if there's any drummers that we should do a deep dive like this into their playing, their style, their approach to drums, their overall sound, because I do find them really, really enjoyable to put together. If you've sat and watched through all of this video, thank you so much. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.